ya doing, everybody? Dragon Wolf Pup here with more sorcery. In the last episode, we made our way to Dhumpus and almost got murdered in the Mediki Forest by some crazy witch lady. And in this episode, we will be continuing our long-anticipated journey through the Shamawanti Hills on our merry way to Kare. So, we shall, now that we are in Dhumpus, let's talk to the villagers and see what happens. You pass along the main path through the village and pause outside a hut in which several of the hill dwellers are sitting and eating. They seem deep in discussion about something. Several are shaking fists in the air. Lifting back the canvas flap, you step inside. The hill dwellers stop talking immediately and look up at you. One gets to his feet and gestures you forward. You step forward, then one of the others calls something in their native tongue and points at your side where your sword hangs out below the hem of your cloak. In broken common tongue, the first man croaks, "No weapons," and he indicates a table by the door where you can leave the blade. If anything, I can beat them in a fist fight, so yeah, sure. Let's see what happens. Let's remove our sword. You unfasten your sword belt and leave your weapon on the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation, and then beckon you to sit with them. They continue their conversation just as animatedly as before, speaking in a local tongue that you cannot follow, but as they talk, they pour you a drink and provide you with food. They seem quite welcoming. Sure. What are they discussing? After you finish eating, you catch eye of one of the older men and ask slowly in the common tongue, "What is it you men are discussing so heatedly?" The man nods back to you.
"Kristanti,"
he says,
"arming the goblins."
Let's tell him I've been there. I have been to Kristanti, you declare. The men nod, but do not seem surprised. Slowly you piece together the story, the group seem quite sure that a horde of goblins are planning an attack on Kristanti, which is apparently one of the wealthier spots in the hills. They're discussing whether or not it would be worth helping the village defend itself, which might mean they are offered some kind of reward. Wait a while and decide later. They frown at you.
"What good does waiting do?"
Better to understand your enemy than rush in, you answer. Once you understand how the goblins are fighting, you'll be better prepared to defeat them. The men nod, swayed by your ruthless logic.
"And you, how do you fight?"
one man asks you. I will help those that need it. The men nod.
"Let the goblins attack tonight,"
they cheer.
"We will use your strength."
The evening draws to a close. The men thank you for your counsel and leave one by one. Well, that was successful. Find it. What? It's nighttime right now, right? So, oh wow, looks like it's been night for a while actually. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's go and explore the town, and then we'll find an inn. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse for items worth buying with their 20 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Carefully you lift the long sword from the table and swing it through the air. It cuts with a finely carved edge. A fine piece of work, I'm sure you agree, the merchant enthuses. 6 gold pieces. Do I want that sword? I kind of want a sword. Oh, hey, I got an armor. Well, sure, let's see what happens. Yeah, sure. Let's get ourselves a new sword. You pay him 6 gold pieces and strap the long sword around your waist. Examine the skull cap. Let's examine the skull cap. It has no inherent magic, but... Oh, wait. You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadulay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. You can tell from the feel of the cloth it has no inherent magic, but it might be useful in spells. Try it on? What happens? You place it on your head, but you feel nothing. You take it off again. Well, that was anticlimactic. Sure, let's pay the gold pieces. And let's buy some provisions. You examine the bag of food. There is about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good for a traveler, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. We need rations, yeah. Alright, that's enough. You nod to the merchant. Is there anything else I can help you with? Is there any work? Actually, yeah. Ah. Is there any work to be had here? I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed you for it. Digging what? The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Does it matter? You'll find out. He stares at you. So? He asks. He looks over his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way now myself. You coming? Yeah, sure. We need work. We need money. We only have 4 gold pieces now, so you know what? He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, letting alone dig with it. Let alone digging with it. Can't talk. I can't read. Reading is hard. I'm ready to get started. Spades out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one, and it's going to take several hours' work that'll probably take the whole night. You collect the spade stuck in the ground by the hole. Ooh! Ooh! I want to cast a spell! I think I could... Wait, can I cast it? Yes. Yes. Yeah! I can... Yay! I can grow in size and be big again. Yay. You cast the spell and wait for it to take effect. Then you feel the spade turn from a heavy tool to a mere toothpick in your hand as you swell to 3 times your usual size. You have the digging work done in barely any time. Let's collect my pay. You go back into the house and collect your money. 3 gold pieces. 3? Bitch. The grateful householder also provides you with some food, as well as a space on the floor to rest for the remainder of the night. You settle down happily and are quickly asleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. Your thoughts are dominated by the strange woman in the hut. In your mind she has become younger than she truly was. Flowers seem to blossom from her hair, as though she has grown from the earth herself. Overhead you fancy you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdmen came for the crown. Perhaps before this journey is finished, they will come for you. Well, that's terrifying. Okay. Let's leave Dhumpus, shall we? You rise early, dismiss the attentions of the householder, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Dhumpus and back on the road. Another hour or so the way branches, with one path leading up into the hills and the other turning downhill and along one side of a barren stony ridge. Is that a village you can make out on top of the hill? Seems a lonely place for it. You know, I'm kind of interested in what's down here. The This is the Jaker mines, right? Jaker? Sometimes I can't read these. So, Kristanti or the Jaker mines? Abandoned, because that needs to be. Ah, sure, let's go downhill. You follow a meandering path around the side of a hill for most of the morning. It's difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course, and eventually the path bursts on a narrow ledge high above the valley floor. The ledge leads left and right. There is no way forwards. Let's look right. Looking right, you are taken aback, as out of the mist that fills the valley, an impossibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it had only now fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes, and is suspended from this peak to the peak on the other side. Who could have built such a marvel, and how long ago? Let's look at the bridge. You take a moment more staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly in the wandering wind. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist, or is it mere illusion to trick the incautious traveler? Let's look left now. Looking left, you can see that the narrow ledge is formed by a splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. If there is a path up the other side, it is not clear from here. Let's rest and eat. Perching on the edge of the stone outcrop, you eat some of your provisions and feel a little better for it. Then it is time to move on. Getting to your feet once more, you take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip and you will fall a long way down. I'm tempted to see what the bridge is. The bridge is worth looking at least. If it is sound, you will be able to tell. If not, the other route will still be waiting. As the ledge winds and weaves its way around the cliff, where the bridge is deeply anchored by its enormous stone foot. Beside this is a small, disheveled hut. A small little shack. It is barely large enough to house a goblin, but someone has decorated it in a weird fashion, with outlines of figures, tall and short and stocky, drawn in faded shades of wood, and some in red blood-colored clouds. And from a few of these figures actual bones protrude from the walls themselves, as if they formed part of the structure. You should have known immediately, of course. A bridge like this out here smells of sorcery and witchcraft. Yeah, so how about not? Yes, I have changed my mind. Into the valley it is then. The bridge seems untrustworthy. Should anything happen to while you were halfway across it, there would be no escape but the last, most final kind. Better to walk. You make your way along the stone ledge. The angle is steep, and it's hard going not to stumble. At the valley floor is a dried-up river, covered in warm stones, haunted by water that is now long gone. Small caves open in the rock face nearby, with rusted machinery abandoned outside. There was mining here once, but it must have been a long, long time ago. A wider track, made for carts carrying ore, leads up the far slope. Let's investigate them. No, I don't want to climb up. Bastard. No, wait. Rewind. There we go. Investigate the mines. Thank you. You approach you approach the mine entrance. A wet wind greets you from the depths. The mine shaft must lead somewhere, but it is pitch dark. There are no torches, and you do not have any light of your own. Yeah, sure, let's go inside. It's probably not a good idea, but let's go inside. You stride further inside until the wet rock is above you, and the air falls suddenly cold and still. Your breath echoes. Tight, dark places are often fearsome, and though the rock walls here were carved with axes, there is still something wild and harrowing about this place. Your feet crunch on the gravel floor. Let's cast a spell. I wonder if I can cast Hot, or something that'll bring me light. H. Oh, yes! I can create a fireball. You cast your spell, creating a fireball on your palm that fills the mine shaft with light. Looking ahead, you can see that the passageway splits into a T-junction, with turnings left and right that lead away and downwards into the mine. But then, approaching up the left passage, you see something. Huge eyes and clawed feet. Then it growls with hot, malicious rage. It is running towards you. Throw the fireball. You toss the fireball towards the creature. There is the smell of burning flesh, and the monster roars in pain with an almost human sound. Before it can recover, you turn and run out into the sunshine and up the path, hoping it will not follow you. No, I didn't want to do that. I want to fight it. Because I feel like suddenly I get the feeling that this is what this thing is talking about. Okay, let's try this again. Because I really want to fight it now. Because I feel like this is important. No, not how. Hot. Okay. Let's go. Wait. You wait a moment longer to see the creature. Claws appear, and then a face like an old man's, and then something sleek and long and sharp. You have not... Oh. Fuck. Really? Bitch. That's not fair. I want to fight it. Can I please fight it? Okay. Do I have to do this without... Okay, let's try this. Oh. A deep resounding growl, blah blah blah. Really? No, I want to fight it. I really want to fight. Fine, I guess I'm not able to fight it. Oh fuck. Okay, fine. Well, we'll at least get to see it, so you know what? Fine. Or is there anything else I can do? I wonder if I cast... What will happen if I cast Sus? Sense danger. You cast the spell, and with moments a dread feeling has come over you. This cave is a place of great and terrible danger, and you feel quite certain that to go a step further would be certain death. Certain death! Oh, come on. Why can't I fight it? I really want to fight it. Okay, fine. We're gonna do hot. Wait, I wonder what would happen if I just run. Or will I just manage to escape? Or will it be able to talk? Or if I run. Dang! Alright, fine. Your breath is short and your heart is hammering as you pause halfway up the valley slope. A small wooden hut is opposite, set a little way back from the path. Let us look at the hut. You stop to watch the hut, dropping behind a bush out of sight as you do so. After a few minutes you see a troll emerge, ducking to get through the tiny frame of the building. He is clearly guarding something around here, perhaps another goblin mine, or perhaps he was stationed here long ago to guard a city that has now crumbled to ruin. The creature stands outside the hut for a few minutes, looking this way and that, his colossal head turning with the speed and dexterity of a mill wheel. Then he stomps away around the curve of the hill. You probably have a few minutes before he reappears. Let's go in the hut. You seize the opportunity and race over the hut to see what you can pilfer. Inside you find it is a barren shack. There is a low oak table in the center and no windows. There is no door. A pile of blankets in the corner is the only nicety. Blankets? The blankets in the corner of the room have seen better days. They are fine cloth once, but they have been worn to threads over many years, and have clearly never been washed. Flies lay eggs in the gaps in the weave. Let's search the blankets. You lift the corner of the blanket with the tip of your sword, and hidden away you find 3 gold pieces, most likely the troll's pay for the entire year. Take it and leave. You've been here long enough. Quickly you turn and hurry away, just in time to see the troll returning from its patrol around the edge of the hill. It hasn't seen you, and is too stupid to notice anything you might have moved or left out of place. It moved to enter its hut. With the troll out of sight, you hurry away along the path, not pausing again until the hut is far out of sight. And with that, we have now made our way from Dhumpus all the way across the bridge of Vancas. And now, all the way to the bridge of Vancas. And now it is time that we pause our adventure for now and continue it in the next episode of Sorcery. See you guys next time.